Hi, everyone. Welcome to Healing Connection, where we can be your supporting light for better mental health. This is Angela.
And I'm
Today, we have Gillianne Brisebois with us for an exclusive interview to share her story and words of wisdom. Welcome, Gillianne.
Thank you. Hi, Angela and Crystal. And if I can just say thank you so much for having me. And I really appreciate what you guys do. Thank you. It's great.
Thank you, Gillian. So before we start, we'd like to get to know a little bit more about Gillian. She's a wife, a mother of two, and is also known as Mama G to many orphans at Oasis Home for Kids in Haiti that she and her husband founded. She started her journey in Vancouver, BC, and is now serving as a women's ministry leader of the Hamilton Church of Christ. Alongside her husband of almost 23 years, they have they have ministered to people in Canada, Europe, Africa, the Caribbean, and the USA. With gratitude as her drive, Gillian enjoys working as a team with her fellow comrades while striving to faithfully go forward as she's being called to new heights.
wow, that's incredible. I can't wait to get to know you so much better.
Thank you.
So, Gillian, we have known each other for a while. Would you
Mhm.
like to share any of the challenges you overcame in your life?
Yes. I know, like all of us, I've had many challenges as well. But one of them I did, I'd like to share is about our son, Kalen, and him having autism. Before my husband and I got married, we had a very open talk, just that because we have mental illness in both sides of our family, we were thinking if we have children, they might have some kind of mental illness as well. And about at 2 years old, we noticed some things in our son. And one of them, which was interesting, was that he seemed to be very talented with music. Like he would literally pick up two of anything, two pens, two pencils, two straws, and he would just start drumming, on the couch, on tables. And we're thinking, wow, like it wasn't just, all over the place, but it really seemed, he had a little bit of rhythm, and we're like, wow, 2 years old, like that's pretty good. But later we were told and learned that many people who do have autism, like they have some kind of strength or talent. So we're like, okay, music must be for him. But also we saw that he didn't really talk much. And we thought that maybe it was because I spoke English in the home and my husband, who's French, he spoke French. So we thought maybe there might be some confusion because of that. We also thought maybe he's a boy, and sometimes, boys are a little bit slower or can be a bit slower to starting to speak than girls. But then again, every child's development is different. So we weren't really sure, but we did notice about his lack of speech. And, as mentioned in my bio, I am part of a faith family. And so our son, he would go to the children's classes on Sunday at church. And one day I remember there were two of his teachers who, their career is in child education, but they were his teachers. And, they had approached my husband and I and just said, I don't know if realize it, but, we want to suggest that you go see a doctor and with your son and just see, because we do have some concerns with his behavior, his interactions, a lack of eye contact sometimes. And it was hard for my husband and I to hear that, but we were trying to be humble and we said, okay, we'll go do that. And we were so grateful because we were happy for their being courageous, because it's kind of hard to approach parents about something like that. But after being assessed, we found out, yes, that indeed our son did have autism. And I'm not sure for all the provinces, but in Quebec at the time, they were not able to diagnose a child until they were 5 years old. So there wasn't a lot that we can do at that time for him. anyway, things got worse. I'll never forget the times, Kaylin would have tantrums for like 45 minutes at a time. And he'd be throwing himself on the floor, crying, screaming. And all I could do, was just to hold him so that he wouldn't hurt himself. And it was just so hard to see my son like that. And, tears would be coming down my face, and I would just feel very helpless in the moment, but not necessarily hopeless. It was more helpless. I just didn't know how to help him at the time. And we didn't know about our son's autism when we were, had our daughter 2.5 years later after our son was born. And she came in the midst of all the beginnings of our realizing, all of this. And so that made it like so much harder, trying to figure out, just having to manage 2 young kids. I mean, that's hard enough as it is, but, one with a disability and just life in general. So yes, it was a very, very challenging for us and for me.
Wow. That's truly an amazing story. I can't imagine what I would do if I were if this were my story. Gillian, I'm just curious, you talked about the challenges that you've had to overcome with your son. How is your son doing today?
Oh, so much better. We are just so proud of him. He's grown a lot. And I think one of the things is that he himself has accepted that he has autism, and even to a point where he's vocal about it. He's open to sharing about it and helping other people, and even, other children of his age, and just, the things that he's gone through. And my husband and I, we're really hoping that just over the years, our striving, not perfectly at all, but striving to love him, to accept him for who he is, and just really showing him the positive things about his autism. We really hope that that's helped with his confidence. And, now he's finished his high school. He's done post-secondary education. He has a job. He puts gas in the car. He drives, and he whenever he uses a car, he helps out in that way. And when I spoke about his at 2 years old, his musical talent, well, we've really seen where that went to, because during the pandemic, well, we're still in it, but the last couple of years, he has put out 2 albums that he wrote all the lyrics, he produced the music, and he has 2 albums that he put out, and it's on Spotify, on Apple Music, so it's just so encouraging that though we've gone through so many trials and pain and tears, it's really, very encouraging to see that through that, it's come to a great spot for him. And, I remember we were like, is he ever going to get, have a job? Is he going to get married? And we just really see that, wow, things are moving forward for him. So we're just very grateful for that.
Wow, that's
so proud of him.
Yeah.
Please, Gillian, can you tell us maybe one experience in your life where you took something that was painful and you turned it around and used that as a drive for purpose?
Pain to purpose. I love that, because, whenever we have pain, it's, you can be bitter or better, from that. And as they say, when life gives you a lemon, make lemonade. So I really appreciate, that question about pain to purpose. For me, honestly, I do want to use this same situation and just say that I think my purpose, my pain, but my purpose through that was just really helping one another and helping other people, especially with similar situations. For us, we went to support groups and built friendships with other parents, who were going through the same thing. And it was so, so helpful, just being able to share our struggles and the things that we were learning and doing. We laughed together. We absolutely cried together many times. And I think by doing so, that really helped, to support one another. And finally, actually, Kaylin got diagnosed at 5 years old, and we were able to get more resources to help. And again, that was so helpful as well. So I think even the things that I learned, the support that we had together, we were able to share that and help one another through our times. And even to a point where there were people who heard that we had a son who had autism, and they asked us, oh my gosh, we just heard about parents who just found out, their kids were diagnosed or a child was diagnosed. Can we put you in touch with them, and you can share things that you've learned. And obviously my husband and I were like, absolutely, because we were so grateful, for what we received, the help and everything, the resources. So, we were able to share that as well. So I would absolutely say that the pain to the purpose was just being able to, though it was a hard time with his autism and learning everything, but being able to help other people just as we were helped, that definitely was our purpose. Yeah.
Oh, that's amazing. I'm sure your story is inspirational, can motivate other moms who are having parenting challenges to just be inspired.
Yeah.
So, Gillianne, what are your top 3 words of wisdom that you like to share with our audience for others to have better mental health?
Yes, I love that, because those 3 words, sometimes when you just have them in your head, they really help. I think my first one is gratitude. That's my first word. I know we all go through challenges, but it's amazing, I feel, how gratitude can really help bring peace despite the challenges, despite our situation. And I've seen that, we do not have to be a victim in any circumstance that we're in. Obviously, I know there's some very, very horrible and painful things that we can go through, but it's amazing. I've found that when you have gratitude and when you have like eyes of gratitude, that it can really help, amongst everything. So it's not easy always, but I feel like it's really important. I'd say my second word is humility. And it might seem like a weird choice or a different kind of choice. But again, I've really seen how humility once again brings peace. And, I think about the situation with our son, and, thinking about how if I was not humble, then I wouldn't have been open and real about the situation. I wouldn't have accepted, that maybe there was a problem, which I know is really hard for, many parents, just that denial and that, no, not my child. But, it's hard, but, with the humility, all that, if I was prideful, like if I was the opposite and was prideful, then I would not have gotten the help. I would have not gotten the resources. I would not have been vulnerable with other parents, even about how I'm feeling. I can be, pretend and like, oh, everything's fine. But really, I was like, I'm a mess and I don't know what to do. And, but that takes humility to be vulnerable. And I also think just even in general, like in relationships, relationships are so, I believe, are very important in our mental health as well. Good relationships, obviously. And, it's important to be humble. Humility breeds humility. And, you want to be that kind of friend that is a safe place to go to. But if you're prideful and you think you're all together, you've got it all together and stuff, like it's harder, to have that. So I'd say humility is definitely one where I've been able to find peace and solace because of it. I think lastly, the word that I would use is embrace. And, many people who know me well have heard me say many times, just go with the flow. And, again, it's a hard thing to do sometimes, but I think it's hard to accept, sometimes when things are happening and you're like, what's going on? But, it's amazing how when you embrace things, the stress is not there to try and take control of you know, a lot of times we are not in control of certain things, but we still stress about it. So instead, just to really strive, not easy, but to really strive and just have that mindset of, okay, I'm going to brace it. I'm going to accept and go with the flow the best that I can, and, you know, try to do what I can with what I can, and the things that I cannot control, you know, just really putting it aside. And there's actually a saying that I love, and it really helps me, especially in the hard times. Life isn't about waiting for the storm to pass. It's about learning how to dance in the rain. And I love that, because it's true. You might be raining and things are just like around your world, but it's like, how can I dance through this? How can I embrace it? How can I do the best that I can with what's going on? So yeah, so for me, gratitude, humility, and embrace are the three, you know, things, words of wisdom, but that I've learned and that have really helped me. So
I do enjoy the dance in the rain.
Yeah.
And thank you so much for sitting with us today and sharing your story and your word of wisdom. It's been a pleasure getting to know you today, and just keep up the great work that you're doing for yourself and your community. You're making such an incredible impact.
Thank you, Crystal. Thank you, Angela.
Thank you, Gillianne.
Healing Connections is a registered charitable organization across Canada. Our goal is to build a resilient community together. We offer free community-based programs such as Healing Connection workshops. Most of our work is done by volunteers, and most of our funding comes from donations. If you feel benefited from any of our free resources, we would love to have your support by going to our website at www.healingconnectionhc.com to donate.
All the interview recordings will be posted on our social media and website. You will get notified when we have exclusive interviews with amazing influencers in our community. If you haven't followed us or subscribed yet, go ahead to do so by clicking on our website below. Thank you all for listening. Bye for now.
Bye for now.
Bye. Thank you.